Hello and welcome back to Phantasy Star 4. We will actually be moving the plot forward this video. I decided to not actually edit this video because the encounters were relatively few and vehicle related, so they went rather quickly. Oh hey, a town, let's see what's going on in here. Hey guys, let's oh. Well, this is bad. Yeah, this is the town that got destroyed. It's full of zombies now. That reminds me, for Halloween I was thinking of doing a long play of Monster Party. But I'm not sure what disturbs me more, the fact that I've considered it, or the fact that I've played the game enough to actually pull it off. So yeah, the town of Reshel has been totally wrecked. Maybe someone can tell us why a bit further elsewhere. Okay. Oh, so there's a plague. A zombie plague. Well, let's see if there's anything we can do to help out later. Yeah, I've left out a bit of background information, you know, from the series. But that's because I thought it would not be relevant, or in the case of, say, the purpose Rico was created for, it was out of discretion, as in discretion is the better part of valor. Wait, no medicine can cure it. This is sounding a little familiar. Ah, the Esper Mansion. Home of wizards, and of course it was founded by the Great Lutz. The Esper Mansion first appeared in Phantasy Star 2, and you went there to get some very essential information and even equipment with the help of Lutz, who had somehow managed to survive. Raja was right again. And Raja down. What this means is Raja has left the party and we're in a hell of a lot more danger nowadays. Oh god, there's gonna be another tower involved. I swear, the next time I encounter a tower in Dungeons & Dragons or whatever, I'm just gonna burn that down. I'm not even gonna explore it, I don't care what treasure is in it, I'm just going to set that thing ablaze like a torch. Now, let's see if I remember where it is. Nope! You know, if the Ice Digger and Land Rover are utility vehicles, I kinda wonder what an Algolian tank would be like. Ah, here we go. Doesn't matter, let's rescue anyway. Alright, let's take on these trees. You ain't Ents, you ain't nothing. Well, this is a problem. Yeah, you can't beat an entire forest. Yeah, you have to use the run command, and apparently we have rescued Sailor Mercury. Lutz is still alive? 1,000 years was pushing it, but... oh well. He's the wizard. She has a celebrity crush on a party member you used in Phantasy Star 1. Yeah, that's how Lutz survived until Phantasy Star 2. Can't wait to see what trick he managed to pull at this time around. But first, the essentials. Okay, so Kyra is actually a bit of a generalist, even more so than some others. She has a lot of techniques, but her meta skill is probably the best out-of-combat healing you can get, as it preserves all of your other healing resources. She uses a slasher and a shield, giving her a fairly high defense but low offense. So there are really two ways you can take it. You can leave her as is, or you can swap out her shield for another slasher. I haven't tried the second way, but I think I actually might this time around. It'll keep me from having to constantly spam techniques with Kyra to make her of any use in combat. So I'll give it a shot while I prep for the next dungeon. God, couldn't you just poop on my vehicle like other birds? I'm running out of instant death. I'm gonna have to fix that. So here we are, the Esper Mansion. I don't know why I checked the state there. By the way, apparently this place is filled with statues of Alice Landau. Apparently as interpreted by Lutz. That's actually a bit creepy. Well, whatever you say. Oh, yeah, the wall of ice. We're the only ones who can break through it on the entire planet. Nobody can climb over it or anything. Rune? Who are you? Just asking. Okay, now it's time to meet Lutz again. Celebrity crush! Oh dear. Of course, Rune has an answer. And just who is the chosen person that's walking around? The only wizard who has ever directly fought against dark forces is the wizard Lutz from Phantasy Star 1. And Lutz has been in our party all this time. You see, the core 4 characters of Phantasy Star 4 are each designed to be a representative from the classic Phantasy Star series. Lutz, the last surviving member of Alice Landau's party, who in Phantasy Star 1 fought against Dark Force and vowed to continue the struggle against the darkness no matter how long it took. Rika, the perfected form of Nay, the hunted outcast, who in Phantasy Star 2 fought to her last breath for the sake of Motavia. Ren is an android of the same model that accompanied all 3 generations of heroes in Phantasy Star 3. And finally, Chaz from Phantasy Star 4, who has been chosen to fight the final battle against the darkness that threatens Algo. You better apologize. God. You probably should have broken cover after Dark Force showed up. And poor Kyra. Yeah, Lutz has actually kind of been a jerk for a while. In Phantasy Star 1, Lutz would actually not give you the time of day unless you had a letter of introduction from the local governor of Motavia. And there's also another thing. Remember way back when the spaceship was crashing and Chaz was the only one freaking out? Keep in mind that Chaz is the only member of that party who had neither experience with or knowledge of space travel. Ren had been around for about 1,000 years, Rika knew about space travel through Seed, and Lutz has done a lot of space travel. Plus, Lutz is also the member of the party who has also been in a crashing spaceship. As you may remember from Phantasy Star 2, Lutz actually saved a younger Rolf from a spaceship that crashed 10 years before the beginning of Phantasy Star 2. According to the background, Lutz was also involved in another mishap, where he and Alice were on a spaceship traveling through Algo, but some Lashiak loyalists actually sabotaged the ship, and they ended up doing a hyper jump to a distant star. They did manage to make it back, and no one knows what happened there, but shortly after they returned, Lutz actually invented techniques. So anyway, the Eclipse Torch was actually a necessary item in Phantasy Star 1, as it was actually required to light up one of the dungeons, I forget which one. You did also find it on Desolus. In Phantasy Star 1, the Desolicians were jerks who tended to make bald-faced lies directly at you. However, again, they've been rather rehabilitated over the years in order to make them plausibly heroic. Ah, the Gumbius Temple, where Raja was kicked out. Giant walls of ice. Yeah, the Corona Tower was actually a mandatory dungeon in Phantasy Star 1, and I believe you got the Eclipse Torch in there. Yeah, I like the Desolician religion because they hold reverence towards something that directly keeps them from dying. Visitors? Oh, hello there. The Air Castle. This is bad. Well, they did manage to steal it. I'm not worried though, this isn't Final Fantasy, we can actually get it back. Blackmail. This does kind of make me wonder how much of this guy is Rune and how much is Lutz talking. It's a ridiculous idea, but we'll check anyway. Anyone who's played the classic Final Fantasy... sorry. Anyone who's played the classic Phantasy Star games is probably not too enthused about having another fight with Lashiak. He was the second to last boss of Phantasy Star 1. And this time you don't get any sort of special protection against his attacks. The Air Castle was the second to last dungeon, and it was rather tricky to access, because you basically needed to turn Mayao into a flying mount. I'm still glad they kind of ditched the idea of doing a first-person dungeon section in Phantasy Star 4. You know, both dungeons that use the Phantasy Star 1 dungeon remix are both heavily rune involved. Well, anyway, next video is the Air Castle. See you then.